is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. God being love is also happiness. God being love is also happiness. Let me remember love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. God being love is also happiness. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. I would accept all that is mine in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. I would accept all that is mine in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. God being love is also happiness. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. And what is mine in truth? Well, love. God being love is also happiness. Let's find that love, that happiness that is our inheritance. Well, I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, and I'm so glad you've come to join me in studying A Course in Miracles. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace publication of A Course in Miracles. And this is a review of lesson 103 and 104, and our lesson today is 117. God being love is also happiness. Let me remember, love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. And then in our text reading, we are ready for chapter 13. In chapter 13, Roman numeral 9, the cloud of guilt. And right before we read it, let's see what all's going on around the world from holidays and observances. It's Alien Day. Aliens. Is there really such thing as an alien? In the sense that we're all one. Anything you see, you can say, I am that. That doesn't make it an alien, does it? Anyway, I'm totally convinced now that that we are visited from other realms other than the earth plane. And whether you call them aliens or angels or ETs, extraterrestrials, they all serve the same purpose. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. They all serve the same Creator that I have, and they're all my brothers and sisters. Arbor Day, a nice day to plant a tree. Audubon Day, Child Care Professionals Day, Confederate Heroes Day in Florida, Day of Dialogue. That'd be nice to have anytime you need to communicate with someone. Have a dialogue. Don't put it off. Get Organized Day. I could use that information. Hairball Awareness Day, Hug a Friend Day, Hug an Australian Day, International Chernobyl Disaster Remembrance Day, Lesbian Visibility Day, National Dissertation Day, National Help a Horse Day, National Kids and Pets Day, National Pretzel Day, National Static Cling Day, Remembering Your First Kiss Day, Richter Scale Day, Undiagnosed Children's Awareness Day, World Intellectual Property Day. And then in edible landscaping, we have the European pears. And the European pears, the first one they've got listed is the Potomac pear, introduced in 1993 from Kearneysville, West Virginia, USD station. Potomac has a high-quality pear which ripens in mid-September. Fruit is sweet, buttery, and extremely juicy. Tree is vigorous and fairly precocious. Pollinates with other European pears and is fire blight resistant. A moon glow Anoji cross or Anjo cross, and it is one of the most fire blight resistant varieties available. Dwarf trees are 8 to 14 foot tall and standards are 15 to 30 foot tall. Space 6 to 10 foot circles for dwarf and 14 foot circles for standards, zones 5 through 9, and it's a Pyrus communis is the genus and species. And then in Permaculture for Beginners by Carrie Mitchell, we're still in chapter 7, using mulch. And let's go over, before we go to the next step, what are the steps in laying down mulch? Mow. Number 2 is water. Number 3, lime if needed. Number 4, cover with sheet cover like cardboard. Mark the paths. Add organic matter. And then add 6 inches of hay or straw. We didn't talk about it being straw. Some people are insistent not to put hay down because of the seeds that come in hay, where straw doesn't have any seeds. You would hope that it would all decompose and not be a problem. But they talked about hay. I'm just letting you know some people would insist on straw. If you have a source for straw, that would certainly eliminate the possibility of seeds or minimize the possibility of seeds. And then add compost is the next. Remember, we're going to put 6 inches of hay or 15 centimeters. And you know, the thing about that is, after you add that on, then you put you know, as much as you can that you have, but usually an inch or two of compost on top of that. And so number 8 is add compost. And they talk about if you have access to horse manure, that works really well because it's high in nitrogen, which will help break down all that carbon-rich hay and the cardboard. Also, chicken litter works nice around here. A lot of people use chicken litter. I kind of quit using it because I'm not too convinced anymore that, matter of fact, I am convinced that it's full of a lot of chemicals that I really don't want on my farm. A lot of the industrial chicken facilities. Now, if you have your own flock, that'd be a different story, particularly how you feed them. But anyway, chicken litter and horse manure are high in nutrients and facilitates the composting of the hay layer because it's rich in nitrogen and the hay is rich in carbon. And as well as it gives the plants placed in the mulch immediate nutrients. Okay, so thank you, Carrie Mitchell, for that good advice. All right, and let's see. Now let's take a look. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. The clouds of guilt. Chapter 13, section 9. Guilt remains the only thing that hides the Father, for guilt is the attack upon his Son. The guilty always condemn, and having done so, they will still condemn, linking the future to the past, as is the ego's law. Fidelity to this law lets no light in, for it demands fidelity to darkness and forbids awakening. The ego's laws are strict, and breaches are severely punished. Therefore give no obedience to its laws, for they are laws of punishment. And those who follow them believe that they are guilty, and so they must condemn. Those who follow the ego's laws believe that they are guilty, and so they must condemn. Between the future and the past, the laws of God must intervene if you would free yourself. Atonement stands between them, like a lamp shining so brightly that the chain of darkness in which you bound yourself will disappear. 2. Release from guilt is the ego's whole undoing. Make no one fearful, for his guilt is yours. And by obeying the ego's harsh commandments, you will bring its condemnation on yourself, and you will not escape the punishment it offers those who obey it. The ego rewards fidelity to it with pain, for faith in it is pain. And faith can be rewarded only in terms of the belief in which the faith was placed. Faith makes the power of belief, and where it is invested determines its reward. For faith is always given what is treasured, and what is treasured is returned to you. You know, we're working, I've said this a number of times through the years as we've been looking at this, that really what we're working with is our motivation, our what we value. And what we value is what, like that last sentence, for faith is always given what is treasured, and what is treasured is returned to you. So what you're thinking about, what you're praying for is what you treasure. That's what you're sending forth that you want. That's where your vibrational request is established. Paragraph 3. The world can give you only what you gave it. For being nothing but your own projection, it has no meaning apart from what you found in it and placed your faith in. Be faithful unto darkness, and you will not see, because your faith will be rewarded as you gave it. You will accept your treasure, and if you place your faith in the past, the future will be like it. Whatever you hold dear, you think is yours. The power of your valuing will make it so. Paragraph 4. Atonement brings a reevaluation of everything you cherish, for it is the means by which the Holy Spirit can separate the false and the true, which you have accepted into your mind without distinction. Therefore, you cannot value one without the other, and guilt has become as true for you as innocence. You do not believe the Son of God is guiltless because you see the past and see him not. You know, you're seeing your brother, you bring in the past with him, like, oh yeah. And we use that idea that when I was a kid was just the way you tried. Matter of fact, my grandfather and my father taught me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's because you believe in the past. And you look at the past to determine what you should do in the future by trust. We want to get away from that type of conditioning and go deep into the Holy Spirit's eternal viewpoint and see everyone in the present. The Holy Spirit will tell you what to do. You don't have to worry about anyone taking unfair advantage of you if you're following the Holy Spirit's guidance. You do not believe the Son of God is guiltless because you see the past and see him not. When you condemn a brother, you are saying, I who was guilty choose to remain so. You have denied his freedom, and by so doing you have denied the witness unto yours. You could as easily have freed him from the past and lifted from his mind the cloud of guilt that binds him to it, and in his freedom would have been your own. Remember, the way you see your brothers and sisters is how you're going to see yourself. You want to be free? Well, then free your brothers and sisters who are one with you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Lay not his guilt upon him, for his guilt lies in his secret thought, that he has done this unto you. Would you then teach him he is right in his delusion? The idea that the guiltless Son of God can attack himself and make himself guilty is insane. In any form, in any one, believe this not. Okay, let's back up. Would you then teach him he is right in his delusion? The idea that the guiltless Son of God can attack himself and make himself guilty is insane. In any form, in any one, believe this not. For sin and condemnation are the same, and the belief in one is faith in the other, calling for punishment instead of love. Nothing can justify insanity, and to call for punishment upon yourself must be insane. Paragraph 6. See no one then as guilty. See no one then as guilty. A word you might use as a stepping stone out of the guilt perception is an ignorant perception. See people as not knowing. They're just ignorant to what is good and holy and right and true and love and God. But they're not inherently evil by any means, which is an idea that we definitely want to free ourselves from, the idea that there are evil people. There are no guilty people, therefore there's no evil people. There's ignorant people, and I know that we've all been there, haven't we? Not known? Okay, let's see. You have denied his freedom, and by so doing you have denied the witness unto yours. You could as easily have freed him from the past and lifted from his mind the cloud of guilt that binds him to it, and in his freedom would have been your own. Lay not his guilt upon him, for his guilt lies in his secret thought that he has done this unto you. Would you then teach him he is right in his delusion? The idea that the guiltless Son of God can attack himself and make himself guilty is insane. In any form, in any one, believe this not. For sin and condemnation are the same, and the belief in one is faith in the other, calling for punishment instead of love. Nothing can justify insanity, and to call for punishment upon yourself must be insane. Paragraph 6. I know I read that twice, but we need to hear it. 6. See no one then as guilty, and you will affirm the truth of guiltlessness in yourself. In every condemnation that you offer the Son of God lies the conviction of your own guilt. If you would have the Holy Spirit make you free of it, accept His offer of atonement for all your brothers, for so you learn that it is true for you. Remember always that it is impossible to condemn the Son of God in part. Those whom you see as guilty become the witnesses to guilt in you, and you will see it there, for it is there until it is undone. Guilt is always in your mind, which has condemned itself. Project it not, for while you do, it cannot be undone. Projecting guilt would be, to not liking the way you feel, so you blame someone for the way you feel. That's projecting guilt. Well, we just need to say, okay, they may be ignorant, but they're not guilty. I need to relook at this and see that my brother and the way I treat them is how I treat myself. So guilt is always in your mind, which has condemned itself. Project it not, for while you do, it cannot be undone. With everyone whom you release from guilt, great is the joy in heaven, where the witnesses to your fatherhood rejoice. 7. Guilt makes you blind, for while you see one spot of guilt within you, you will not see the light. And by projecting it, the world seems dark and shrouded in your guilt. You throw a dark veil over it and cannot see it because you cannot look within. Wow, we need to learn to look within. The thing you fear is gone. Back up. You are afraid of what you would see if you looked within, but it is not there. The thing you fear is gone. You ever wondered why it's so difficult to, particularly in the beginning when you're practicing meditation, it's hard to sit still and quiet? Because there's that residual fear that you're going to see something scary. But he said that you throw a dark veil over it and cannot see it because you cannot look within. You are afraid of what you would see there, but it is not there. The thing you fear is gone. If you would look within, you would see only the at-one-ment or the atonement shining in quiet and in peace upon the altar to your Father. And the last paragraph, 8, do not be afraid to look within. Do not be afraid to look within. Do not be afraid to meditate. Do not be afraid to be still and quiet. Don't be afraid to just let go and let God, and to be still and quiet and let the small, still voice of God speak to your innards. Do not be afraid to look within. The ego tells you all is black with guilt within you and bids you not to look. Instead, it bids you look upon your brothers and see the guilt in them. Yet this you cannot do without remaining blind. For those who see their brothers in the dark and guilty in the dark in which they shroud them are too afraid to look upon the light within. Within you is not what you believe is there and what you put your faith in. Within you is the holy sign of perfect faith your Father has in you. He does not value you as you do. He knows Himself and knows the truth in you. He knows there is no difference, for He knows not of differences. Can you see guilt where God knows there is perfect innocence? You can deny His knowledge, but you cannot change it. Look then upon the light He placed within you, and learn that what you feared was there has been replaced with love. Look within and realize what you feared was there has been replaced with love. That last sentence, look then upon the light inside you. Look then upon the light He placed within you, and learn that what you feared was there has been replaced with love. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, well, be sure to do your morning and evening 5 or more minute looking within. And then throughout the day, take a moment to pause and look within. And say at the top of every hour today, God being love is also happiness. And then if you can, take a moment of quiet and look within. You might even say, let me remember love is happiness and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. And then at the bottom of the hour, say, I seek but what belongs to me in truth. And if you have just a moment, you could even say, love is my heritage and with it joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. God being love is also happiness. God being love is also happiness. Let me remember love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. I would accept all that is mine in truth. God being love is also happiness. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. And our word for peace is there are probably several, but the one I found was an Australian Aboriginal language, and it's Gwandalan for peace. So Gwandalan be with you. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Gwandalan.